Hi everyone, we hope that you are enjoying the holiday season with family and friends. So now sit back and enjoy another Hugh fan favorite. And from all of us here, we wish you a very, very wonderful holiday season, and we will see you in 2026. Hi everyone, welcome to Hugh at Home. We are on location in the rehearsal room for a dramatic theater. We're not talking about theater though, we're talking about poetry with my good old dear friend Laurie Fischer. And Laurie, congratulations, the third book, the end of the trilogy of all this poetry. More than 400 poems you've written?
Yes, over 400 poems over the last, 5 years. It all started very suddenly when the pandemic hit. And basically, I was doing a show. I was doing a show down in Florida, a musical. We'd rehearsed for 3 months. We did our dress rehearsal. And the morning we were going to open, we were called in and we were told we had 1 hour to get out because everything shut down. So suddenly the world came to a stop from going 110 miles an hour to zero. And after about 48 hours, I said to my wife, I said, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go absolutely insane because all we could do was sit around, walk the puppies. I could ride my bike, but that was it. You had no contact with anybody because there were a few deaths down there. So there was a lot of panic. And basically, I started writing really to inspire, to motivate, to uplift the people around me. And I posted during that period of time a poem every day on Facebook. And people were reacting. The reaction was unbelievable. And my daughter Pamela Ross, who has been my editor for all 3 books, said, why don't we put a collection together? And so that's how Poetry of the Pandemic was born. It was out of boredom from the pandemic. And I was simply writing about the feelings, the things that I saw around me. I've often said that a poet is a mirror. He reflects the world around, or he or she reflects the world around them. And if you don't like what they're saying, change the world. And that's really how this all started, was with Poetry of the Pandemic. And then I just kept writing, and so the second, Musings on a Life Well Lived, was born. A little different, probably a little more positive. We weren't in the middle of the pandemic at that time. And I've always wanted to complete the trilogy. Yes. And that's how The Future Awaits came, was, again, I just continued writing. I have still continued writing. And so the trilogy was completed.
So this last book, how is it different from the other 2?
I think it's still a lot of the same themes. I still write a lot about nature. I still write about my puppies. I still write about life. But it's looking more to the future. And I'm quite a positive person. And basically, I want people to know that the future really does await you. You know, you just have to live for today, but, you know, the future is there. And one of the nicest compliments I've been given really over and over again was when people are reading my poetry, they feel like they're walking beside me. And that's the empathy of a poet. That's the ability to walk in another man's moccasins, as the original saying goes. Not politically correct today, but that's how it is. And really there's a lot of empathy in my poems. Recently, I've started doing readings in senior residences. I've done 3 now. And the last one, it was actually very moving. It was 10 years to the minute that my mom passed away on September 9th. And it was at her old home. It was at River Ridge. And sitting in the front row was an old English teacher from years and years of teaching English, because she pulled me aside afterwards and said, I love your words, you know, the alliteration, the way you write, the simplicity. And that really summarized what my poetry is about, is people can, I guess, live with me and the thoughts that I have.
Well, it's interesting. Why poetry, Laurie? Because you are a man of words. I mean, a story would be incredible too. Is that the next step now, or is this it?
Well, I'm kind of premature a little bit, but Pamela and I, for my 70th birthday last year, Pamela gave me a thing called Storyworth. And every week I had a question asked of me and I had to write a story. And so I called it My Life and Times. It's actually for my family and close friends, and somebody I know well will probably get one because she's part of it. But it really has been a great experience to go back to my childhood and be able to have memories there. So the truth is, yes, I've written stories recently. I have gone back to poetry, and I don't know why, because my poetry is really like a story. I don't, one or two I tried to rhyme and I said, this is ridiculous, I can't do this. So a lot of my poetry is free-flowing. It's, as I said, about nature, it's about life, and it really is a story within a poem. So that's kind of how I get away with it.
Well, now I'm going to go back about the future, talking about the future, but your future. You received some very good news, and there is kind of an underlying theme for all of this too, with your battle with cancer.
Yes, I was diagnosed in, well, May 22nd, 2018. Basically, I had stage 4 prostate cancer, which had metastasized. They caught it too late. And my timeline was 2 to 6 years. And when I hit 7 years, I told all my friends that I've expired, but I haven't gone sour. So it really has been a battle for 7 years, but this year in July, my oncologist sat across with me and told me that my cancer is dormant. And he said, we're going to continue treatments because what they're afraid with any cancer is that it will rebound somewhere else and be worse. And I've had friends I've lost who had exactly that. They were in remission. They don't use that word anymore, I'm told. They just say your cancer is dormant. It's there, but basically I've won the battle. So hopefully it will continue well into the future. And you're right, it's a great feeling.
Well, in words of wisdom now, when you receive those words from your doctor, for those out there that are fighting the fight, it's hard, but...
Well, it's hard, but I actually gave a very brief speech at the Never Alone Cancer Foundation walk. They asked me to say a few words, and I spoke to the cancer warriors there. And I said, never give up the fight. You just don't know what the future holds, and you've just got to keep fighting, no matter how dire it seems. And I'm very lucky because my symptoms were not great, but they were nothing like what other people go through. And so my message to anybody who is fighting the battle out there, keep fighting. Don't give up, no matter how bad it is. And you always have people you can turn to. We're very lucky in Manitoba. Cancer Care Manitoba is a fabulous organization. I can say nothing but good things. Groups like the Never Alone Cancer Foundation, they're there to support us. And I still consider myself a cancer warrior because the battle is really never over. But I'm very positive, and I really believe that attitude is 90% of it. I've had friends who were diagnosed the same time as I was, and they're gone because they gave up the ghost. And that's what my message is stay positive, keep a good attitude, and just keep fighting.
And maybe get one of Laurie's books, totally recommended. On that note, Laurie, proceeds are going to the Never Alone Cancer Foundation, right?
Yes, the books are $30 each, and $10 of every book that is sold goes to the Never Alone Cancer Foundation. In fact, I've made some really good donations this year. They went towards the walk, but I will continue with the books that I have remaining to keep donating to the Never Alone Cancer Foundation.
And the big question, where can people go to get your books?
The best thing to do is telephone me. I have a very easy telephone number, and I'm happy to give it. It's 204-890-8999. That's probably the easiest. And they can get a hold of you.
Oh, yes. Yes, and you can contact, ilikeyou.com. And Laurie, I love it. You're still the old-fashioned guy. Give Laurie a call at that number, and you can get one of your own special books. So thank you so much, Laurie, for everything that you do and what you bring to the community. It never, ever ceases to amaze me, but it does not surprise me. And congratulations on the great news.
Thank you so much, Tracy, and thank you for having me today.
Okay, that is a wrap for Hugh at Home. We'll see you next time, right here on Hugh.